I've lived all over the country. And when I tell people I'm from the South, there's an immediate set of assumptions people make about me, about the region, and those are not always good assumptions. They're not positive. And as someone who is from this place and who lives in it every single day, I want to rewrite those assumptions. Because what I live is very different than what is perceived about the South. I want to rewrite those assumptions, and I think the way we can do that is by storytelling. So, we're going on a road trip. Plays start with playwrights, so that's where I'm starting. We're taking 4 playwrights on the road, and 4 playwrights who are from the South. They write about their lives in the South. The South has influenced their ideas, their stories, who they are, and we're going to go out and have one-on-one conversations, town halls, story circles. We're doing 12 towns in 10 days, and for better or for worse, it's a group of strangers, and the thing that unites us is we're artists, we're storytellers, and we're from the South.
I'm going back to these discussions and remembering someone saying, I don't think the Southern identity should exist anymore. It's like, it's laced with bad apples. We should just not, that we should move on to that to more of American identity. And I'm not necessarily from the traditional South, but I do see a beauty in what the culture has provided for the world and what it means for communities to fight for common decency, for freedom, for equality. And I think places like Montgomery are a shining example of what the human condition can become when we come together.
Getting to hear the facilitators ask questions about what it is that we love about Mobile and what it is that we can actually do to make it better is a fantastic conversation, because we really don't get the opportunity to talk about those things that often, because in the environment that we have today, particularly the political environment, most of the stuff we're talking about is negative.
There's beauty everywhere. Sometimes it feels like you're just walking through honey. There's beauty everywhere, even in dilapidation and disaster. There seems to be beauty here. I didn't grow up proud of my Southernness. I grew up troubled by it, and I wanted to escape from it and change it. And I'm back with a new attitude, a fresh attitude, and a sense of power over all that I didn't have when I was young.
I would like Mississippi to be a place where everyone is in fact welcomed, and it's not just paying lip service to being welcomed. It can't be a melting pot. That's not going to work. But it can be a gumbo pot where everyone is valued for what they bring to the whole.
I don't say this lightly, but I really do not find it hospitable here. Hospitality, Southern hospitality, at least as I've experienced it, is actually a myth. And the people that have been most kind to me here are actually not from here. I find it cliquey and exclusive in a way, especially if you don't go to church, because that's part of the social life here.
And Eli, this is not a place to raise kids. It ain't nothing here, for younger people. I can deal with it. Maybe an older person can deal with it, but we really hurting down here. We really are, because ain't nothing down here. The farmers don't want people here simply because, you know, they farmers. And it don't take, you know, farming is high tech now. And it don't take that many people to farm. You know, so actually they could care less, you know, about the people here. There used to be thousands and thousands of people here. But it's still declining. And that's how they want it. It's been like that for years, ain't nothing changed, just a different day. So don't get it twisted like ain't no money in this town. There's plenty of money here. And if people want to work, I'm talking about, it's like, people be saying, well, everybody's lazy, they don't want to work, ain't no jobs. The leaders of the city, they won't do nothing. They say they want to help Elaine, but they ain't trying to help Elaine, in my eyesight. But if it was something here for young people, oh, it would be wonderful. It ain't for everybody, but if you can deal with some of the stuff here, it's a good place to live.
Memphis is a big charitable city, but we only give to a donated selected few. And I think the millennials and younger people, we recognize it. So we want everyone to have the wealth distributed to them. And we're just trying to figure out a way of how we all can keep our head above water. Above water like swim. We need to swim, because if you're above water, then you're barely living. You need to at least know how to swim and get out in the deep end or something. So yeah, we think about things in a different way. We question things. We might throw questions about spirituality or religion or homosexuality, and it's kind of like a response like oh, well, you're different. You're not on the same traditional path. And as far as millennials and younger people, I feel like we're taking over by storm because we want to see this change. We're tired of living in bondage and we're tired of living in oppression, so we have to do something about it.
The diversity that you see is there for a reason. The diversity is there so you can connect, so you can become stronger in that sort of one human family. Being able to sort of understand that we actually are created differently and we speak different languages for a purpose, and it's actually a strength, not, a weakness to have.
So that wake up needs to happen for everybody so we can understand each individual language from where it came from to start fixing. That would be my thing that I would hope eventually we get to, so that we can stop the ignorant fights. Because a lot of times we don't even be fighting against each other, we just fighting from our side on the same topic and don't even realize it.
It was not that uncommon to meet, white Southern students who were, sort of romantic Southern nationalists, and you don't see that anymore too much. But still, and this is what's interesting to me, still many of them think of themselves as being Southern and think of that as some kind of important fact about themselves that needs to be accounted for in some way. So, this is my question. It's like, why does it still matter?
I think about the words of Majeska Simpkins, right? Who was this, great Southern Black womanist, feminist activist who basically said that flag needs to stay. That flag needs to stay because it is a visible signal to me about who you are and what you believe, right? So in a lot of ways, there's no way I cannot see that flag, because that flag is it tells me where my barriers are. It tells me what your beliefs are. So in a lot of ways, I appreciate when people fly it, have it on their car, in their truck or whatever, because I'm like, I understand where my barriers are.
I think that now there is a certain level of fake hospitality that covers up a lot of things. I think that...
Unless you're hard.
I think that, and I get this,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I get this a lot being an outspoken young person in the South, but I think that because things are changing so quickly in a place that hasn't experienced this level of change in a really long time, that we are covering up a lot of our discomfort with, you know, fake hospitality and just, you know, reverting back to like what's ingrained in us. And so I think it is hard to tell sometimes what's genuine and what's not.
Is there a difference between Atlanta and Georgia? Oh, big difference.
So let's be very clear. There is racism in Atlanta. So let's start there. But the reality of it is that when you look at the history of Atlanta, truly the color that matters is green.
The identity that we portray is that Southern hospitality, but we don't take ownership of the other stuff that encompasses the racist view that people have of us.
You've got to have diversity both in politics, schools, religion, everything. But can't we learn to be civil with each other and understand that the other person's view may not be yours, but it doesn't mean that it isn't right for them, or that they don't have some reason to be able to express what they believe.
You know, I think we're all leaving feeling like we're really proud of the South, we're proud of the progress that's been made, but I think we're all very, very aware of the work that needs to continue to be done.
I also really believe that stories matter, and that's one thing I've gotten from this trip more than anything, that stories matter.
Something that I have always believed in is that stories must be steeped in specificity.
Yes, right.
And the reason why I say specificity, I want you to come in being okay with not understanding everything that you hear or see.
Especially encountering the young people that we've encountered along the trip and how hopeful and engaged they are in this whole process of really deconstructing the problems that exist in the South has been really, really heartwarming and a breath of fresh air.
Connecting with folks right now, hearing from them the stories that are important to them, hearing stories that are not even being told, that are not rising to the surface, that we can come together and begin to commission and develop a set of stories that creates a new Southern canon. There are so many Southern writers that have stories to tell, and we want to give them a home to do that.